Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. We start with breaking news from the Middle East, where the conflict between Israel and the Houthi rebels in Yemen has become much more dangerous. Reports confirm that the Houthis launched a wave of drones and missiles at the Israeli port city of Eilat. Several people were wounded, and the attack created fear across southern Israel. Israeli officials said their air defense systems were able to intercept some of the missiles and drones, but at least one missile hit to a residential area, showing the growing danger from the Houthis. In response, Israel carried out airstrikes on Yemen's capital, Sanaa, which is under Houthi control. The Israel Defense Forces said they targeted command centers, storage depots, and drone launch sites. This exchange of attacks has raised big concerns that the conflict could spread beyond Israel and Gaza, pulling Yemen deeper into the fight and creating instability in the Red Sea region. The Houthis, supported by Iran, have improved their missile and drone technology over recent years. Analysts say their weapons can now reach Israeli territory, giving them a more important role in the wider Iran-Israel conflict. For Israel, the strike on Eilat is especially worrying because the city is both a popular tourist spot and a key Red Sea port that connects Israel to global shipping lanes carrying oil and trade. The Israeli government said it will not accept these threats and promised to continue hitting Houthi targets until the missile attacks stop. Meanwhile, Houthi officials in Sanaa celebrated the attack, calling it a response to Israel's actions in Gaza. They said they will continue launching attacks until what they call Israeli crimes are stopped. This shows the dangerous cycle of escalation. Israel strikes Yemen, the Houthis respond, and the conflict grows, heavily influenced by Iran's support for the Houthis. The United Nations, along with regional powers like Saudi Arabia and Egypt, have called for restraint. They warned that more escalation could threaten international shipping through the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden, which are vital routes for world trade. Already, shipping companies have reported disruptions, and insurance prices for ships near Yemen have jumped, raising concerns about the global economy. The Houthis have also shown they can hit not only Israel, but also commercial ships tied to Western countries. This increases fears of a new shipping crisis like the one seen earlier in the el-Mandeb Strait. Israeli military leaders say they are preparing for a long campaign against the Houthis and suggested more strikes in Yemen are likely. This is a major change as Israel's military has mostly focused on Gaza, Lebanon, and Syria, but now it is fighting over 1,000 miles away in Yemen. The growing role of proxy forces is clear. Iran supplies groups like the Houthis with weapons, training, and technology so they can attack Israel without Iran being directly involved. For Israel, this is no longer just a local threat. It is part of a larger struggle with Iran stretching from Hezbollah in Lebanon in the north to the Houthis in Yemen in the south. Experts believe this strategy is meant to stretch Israeli defenses, force them to divide their attention, and weaken their ability to deal with any single enemy. To respond, Israel has been working closely with the United States to improve air defenses against drones and missiles. Now those systems are being tested in real combat. In Yemen, civilians are suffering most. Airstrikes in Sanaa have caused serious damage, and reports say civilians have been killed or injured. Yemen is already devastated by years of war, famine, and economic collapse, and now this new conflict is making things even worse. Inside Israel, the attack on Eilat has shaken public confidence. Many people fear that the country's southern defenses are not ready for the scale of missile and drone attacks now being used by the Houthis. Israeli defense planners now face a new challenge. Drones and missiles coming from hundreds of miles away require constant surveillance, intelligence sharing, and quick response systems. The Houthis have also previously attacked Saudi Arabia and the UAE with similar drones and missiles. Those attacks prove that their arsenal is becoming more advanced and harder to stop. The big question now is how far Israel will go in Yemen. Could this turn into a long air campaign like Israel's operations in Gaza or Syria? For Iran, the situation is useful. It allows Iran to pressure Israel from different sides using allies without having to fight directly. Western countries like the US and UK are also watching closely, since they depend heavily on the Red Sea for shipping. If Houthis attack more commercial vessels, Western navies might have to step in with patrols or even strikes on Houthi missile sites. That could risk direct clashes between the Houthis and Western powers, pulling them deeper into the conflict. If this continues, the Red Sea could turn into a permanent military hotspot like the Strait of Hormuz in the Persian Gulf. For now, both sides seem determined to keep fighting. The Houthis insist they will not stop, while Israel says it will use all necessary force to defend its people. With each strike and counterstrike, the chances of miscalculation rise, and the risk of new players being pulled in becomes more likely. This conflict is no longer only about Israel and Yemen. It is about the balance of power in the Middle East, Iran's role in supporting armed groups, and how far international powers are willing to go to protect global trade. In the coming days, we can expect more attacks, counterattacks, and possibly international action to try to control the crisis before it spirals further out of hand. Stay tuned as we continue to follow this breaking story, bringing you updates, analysis, and insights on how this conflict could shape the future of the Middle East and global security. Thank you for watching. Please share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on global defense and breaking news.